How have you been doing during these tough times?
I mean, I've been pretty good. I have nothing to complain about. Releasing a film, so it could be worse, you know?
Definitely. So we're here today to talk about the Kissing Booth too. Can you tell me more about how you got involved with the franchise and maybe what the audition process was like for you?
Yeah, sure. So I'm actually South African and I was living in Cape Town when they did the first film. So I did a normal casting process. My agent sent me the brief. I read for Rachel. I had a call back with the director, Vince, and Michelle, one of our producers. And then I booked the role. And then, I mean, my role has definitely grown in the next film. So I'm really excited. I got super lucky and no one expected it to be the success that it is.
For sure. That was my next kind of a lead into my next question. Why do you think the franchise has been so successful so far?
I just think it's such a relatable story, and I think all of the characters are so well rounded, and there's not really, it feels like an ensemble, and I feel like as a world we're looking for like community and the feeling of togetherness, and it was the same when the first film came out. It's the same feeling again, and I think it's got that nostalgia, that feel, so that's why it is attractive to all age groups, you know.
Definitely. So what can you tell us about your character, Rachel?
Oh, Rachel. Rachel, I feel, is like the embodiment of kindness. She's a very sweet, compassionate character. I think she's a little bit more mature in some ways for her age. Uh, I think she genuinely had a crush on Lee. And the moment when she kind of stepped up to him in the first film, it it was a little bit of taking a chance and also a moment of kindness. And you'll see more of her in the second film. She just is so caring and so compassionate. She's a lovely character to play.
Definitely. You mentioned that like you did something bold by stepping up to Lee and then giving him his kiss. Do you ever like do anything bold in like your personal life, or has there ever been an experience where you've done something like that?
Yes. Yes, I have. I'm not going to tell you what, but I fully believe in putting your heart out there. I fully believe in like wearing your heart on your sleeve.
For
And
sure.
if you like someone, you should definitely go for it. I'm such a romantic, like
Aw.
such a romantic. And I'm a writer, so I often like pour my feelings into words. But yes, I would say I'm the same as Rachel in that sense.
For sure. Do you bring any of yourself into your character?
Yeah, I think it's hard not to be honest. Like you can definitely, I mean, I look at Joey playing Elle, like you can see a little similarity there. I think it's very hard not to have a part of yourself in it. I did relate a lot to Rachel, just being a little bit more on the quieter side. She's a bit of an outsider in some ways, and she's kind of, in between lots of groups. So I'm a little bit like that. I do think that when the whole cast was cast, Vince did such a great job because the characters and the actors are like perfect matches, they just
For sure.
strengthen one another.
Do you have like a favorite like scene from the film? I don't know if you could like tell too much.
My favorite scene was the Halloween dress up uh, costume party where I was a marshmallow. That's my favorite scene. It was the highlight of like shooting the film because I was so excited to get into that costume, and it was so um, silly and fun. And that was just such a great night. They went all out in terms of the set deck and all the lights and the music. It was just incredible.
For sure, and I'm sure at that scene there was a lot of your castmates. How would you describe the dynamic with the rest of your castmates on the film?
We're like a big family. It's like, I just remember laughing all the time. Shooting a film can be kind of hard sometimes when you've got long hours and you can be shooting and we shot at night a lot. And if you don't like your cast members, like your fellow cast members, it can be really tough. But
Mhm.
we all got on really well. We played tons of games, we teased each other. And I think especially because we had already done a film together before, it was like just reuniting with our family and catching up, and everyone had kind of changed a little bit but also stayed the same in so many ways. It was,
Definitely.
yeah, it was awesome.
That was like my next question. What was it like reuniting with everybody again for like the second film?
It was so cool. I actually feel like I bonded more with people during the second film.
Hmm.
I'm not sure why that was. Maybe just, I don't know, coming back and you already knew each other, or there was just so many fun things that were packed into the second one that's like so exciting. And the success of it, I guess, I don't know. I think, yeah, it just was great.
That's fantastic. And what do you think fans are going to take away most from like the second film, or what's different about it than the first?
I think it's such an interesting time for this film to come out because a lot of the viewers are going to be graduating and a lot of people missed their graduation. So I kind of hope that some of them feel like they're graduating with us.
For sure.
All of these characters are figuring out who they are. Each character is doing that, and how the dynamic changes with their friendships or relationships or family based on when they kind of decide who they are and what they want to chase and pursue. And I think everyone can relate to that. I think you can relate to that when you're 18, when you're 28, when you're 38, 48. Life is always throwing you curveballs, and these characters are taking them and running with them and finding their own way.
Definitely. I'm 20 and I watched the first movie with my mother, and she was excited for the second one. So it really does relate to people of all ages. And then I know you shoot the film at a bunch of different locations. What's like maybe a behind the scenes secret or something you could share with me about the set?
Ooh, one of the locations that we shot at, I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it was actually where we shot that big Halloween party. There was, I don't know if you'll see it in the film, but there was actually a life-size, well, I assume it's life-size, like a dragon head skull that was on the lawn. It was like this crazy building that looked like this like medieval castle, and there was this big dragon's head. It was so crazy. We weren't allowed to take any photos, so you'll probably not see anything anywhere. And it felt very like secretive and undercover and cool.
Definitely. And have you stayed in contact with the rest of the cast during the quarantine?
Yeah, I texted Joey this morning or yesterday to get a video from her. So I chat to her quite a lot, and Taylor and Maisie, they're so sweet. Joel, I cannot believe he's getting married. I'm so excited for him. He's just like beaming in all of his photos. And definitely all the people back home, because that's my home city. Yeah, we're so excited. We're all just like exchanging messages and videos and pictures, and we're stoked.
I know tomorrow the movie The Kissing Booth 2 releases tomorrow. Do you have like maybe a mini party planned for it, or what are your plans with the release of the movie?
Yeah, so I'm actually going to a friend of mine's house here in Vancouver. He was in the film. His name's Nathan Lynn, and he and his wife moved here, so we're going to celebrate together. I'm gonna get a little bottle of champagne. I am legal. I am allowed to drink, and celebrate with some pizza, champagne, and popcorn.
And are you working on anything else you can share with your fans?
There's a couple of projects in the works. I'm actually working to co-produce a small web series, which I'm really excited about. But then most of the things I'm going to talk about later when I'm allowed to talk about them.
Perfect. And do you have like a dream role or anything you really want to do in your career?
You know, I want to do something that's super like physically challenging. Like I would love to play a boxer because I totally don't look like one, I guess. And I kind of love that juxtaposition of how I look and like playing someone who's like super fit and physical. And I kind of daydream about working with Michael B. Jordan.
Definitely. I mean, who doesn't, right?
Yeah, I mean, working with him, talking to him, who cares? Anything. Just, can I stand next to you, please?
Where can fans find you on social media?
On Instagram. I don't really use other platforms because I'm weird at like that, but Instagram, YoungMegan_, you can find me.
Have you used your platforms lately to make any change amongst your followers with all the social issues going on right now?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really important right now to be aware of what's going on in the world, and especially with the Black Lives Matter movement. Definitely been posting about that. And there's a movement in South Africa against gender-based violence. So I try as much as possible to keep on track with that and researching about it. I think social media is so powerful. If you don't know what's going on, then you're just like obviously living under a rock because it's so at your fingertips. And I think it's really important for everyone to look into it, learn, unlearn, relearn.
Definitely. I completely agree with that. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks so much for having me.